Welcome to our video series exploring the timeless wisdom of the book of Proverbs. Whether you're a lifelong Christian, a seeker, or simply someone looking for practical wisdom for everyday life, this series will take you on a journey through each chapter, uncovering the relevance of ancient sayings in the world we live in today. Let's begin with the author of Proverbs, King Solomon. Known for his wisdom, Solomon was the son of David, the second king of Israel. He ascended the throne around the 10th century BC, during a time when Israel was at its peak, politically powerful, wealthy, and culturally flourishing. Solomon's wisdom was legendary, sought by leaders far and wide. His reputation as a wise ruler was immortalized through his proverbs, short, memorable sayings meant to impart practical knowledge for living a good and righteous life. But while Solomon is credited with many of these sayings, the book of Proverbs wasn't just written by him. It's a compilation of wisdom from various authors, some of whom are unnamed. The book brings together the teachings of Solomon, other wise men, and even some foreign influences, like those from Egypt. This mix of traditions reflects a broad and diverse intellectual landscape, which made these proverbs valuable to everyone, from kings to commoners. The book of Proverbs was written in Hebrew and was passed down through generations, preserving a collection of moral and practical teachings. It was likely composed over several decades, but the final compilation took shape around the 5th century BC. In the centuries that followed, Proverbs was transmitted carefully through Jewish communities. Over time, it became part of the Hebrew Scriptures, later adopted by Christians as part of the Old Testament. From its early manuscript form to the printing press in the 15th century, the wisdom of Proverbs spread far and wide. Its influence can be seen in literature, law, and even modern-day social media memes, though perhaps in a much more simplified form. In the world surrounding ancient Israel, the wisdom literature was not unique. Egypt, for example, had its own wisdom literature, like the Instruction of Amenemop, which shares striking similarities with Proverbs. The Israelites were exposed to these teachings through trade, conquest, and cultural exchange. However, Proverbs stands out in its theological dimension, where wisdom is not just a set of practical rules for living, but also a reflection of God's order in the world. Now, imagine yourself living in the time of Solomon. Ancient Israel was a theocratic society, a community that lived by God's laws. The people didn't just want wisdom for financial success or personal well-being. They sought wisdom to guide their relationships, their spiritual lives, and their community as a whole. Proverbs was often shared in public spaces, in homes, and even at the royal court, serving as a daily guide for righteous living. Fast forward to today, and Proverbs still speaks to us. It's more than just ancient wisdom. It's living, breathing guidance for our personal and spiritual lives. Through this series, we'll dive deep into each of the 31 chapters, exploring their context, history, and, most importantly, how they apply to us today. In each episode, we'll explore one chapter of Proverbs. We'll look at its meaning, the historical context, and how it can speak to our lives now. Whether it's about relationships, finances, work ethic, or our relationship with God, these ancient teachings have something for everyone. The book of Proverbs challenges us to choose wisdom over foolishness, to embrace discipline over recklessness, and to live in a way that honors God and blesses others. It invites us into a life of balance, finding the right way to live in a world full of distractions and contradictions. So, whether you're curious about the ancient world or looking for practical advice for today, we invite you to join us in exploring Proverbs. You'll find that, even thousands of years later, its wisdom is still relevant, offering clarity, insight, and a path toward living well in today's world. In the next episode, we'll dive into Chapter 1, where wisdom begins its call to all who will listen. Stay tuned, and let's walk this journey of wisdom together.